Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of the Pure Logic Podcast. I am your host, The Logical Dude, your favorite van life living, crypto investing digital nomad. How are you today? I hope you're doing well, and I want to thank you for coming back and spending a little bit of your time today with me. This is the podcast where I get to talk about really whatever tickles my fancy. Exert some of my doodly wisdom onto you guys. Hopefully you get a little something out of it, because this is all stuff that I'm really dealing with in my own personal journey. So yeah, if you are on 3speak.tv on the Hive blockchain, you are already in the right place. But if you're listening to me on Spotify, YouTube, or one of the other main podcasting networks, then you should really come and check out Hive. It's a beautiful place to be. But I do thank you for listening to me on any of the other platforms. Please follow, like, all that kind of good stuff. But come on over and check us out on the Hive blockchain, where you actually own your media and your data, not the big tech oligarchies. You make money on your social media presence, and it's a great place to come and learn how to earn and learn how to be able to make your money work for you, because we have all kind of different communities that really anybody can get into. Music communities, we've got skating communities, we've got gaming communities, we've got games that you can actually come and earn money. We've got all kind of stuff. We've got e-commerce, we've got entrepreneurial communities, we've got investment and trading communities to where you can, if you know nothing about the finance world or the cryptocurrency world, that's okay. Neither did a lot of the community members that are now with us and that are now making their living making posts on Hive. Or at least a good part of their living, you know? We're a global community. There's a lot of people that can benefit from this platform. So Hive is basically the creators' blockchain, where creators can come and create without worrying about censorship. Which really leads me right into our today's topic, which is, do you work for your money, or does your money work for you? So in the traditional sense, the way we were really raised and brought up through the indoctrination camps that they call schools, we were taught to be little worker bees, to be obedient little workers, to do the job that we were told to do, and to do it the best that we could do it, to follow the rules. That's all a diploma or a degree is just a piece of paper that says that you are a good rule follower and you know how to take orders. Good for you. You're going to be a great little employee. I've never honestly bought into it, but I've been tax slaves for a really long time in my life. I always fought it. I was always that one that wanted to be independent. I always tried some kind of little entrepreneurial thing on the side while I was still working that job. Because if you know what the word job actually stands for, it means just over broke. I don't know if that's the way that the word really kind of meant to be in the day, but to me, that's what it means. A job keeps you just over broke. So, are you going to go and work for somebody else that's going to make way more money, pay you just basically the crumbs to do the job for them, what they think that you're worth to do whatever job it is that you're doing? What are you doing with that money? You know, for me, for the longest time, basically my entire life, it was basically just paying bills. You know, there was a time in my life when, back in my good old days of slinging the dopes, yeah, I was one of those guys. You know, hey, it's one of the oldest hustles in the book. But I was always trying to, you know, I was always one that I like to live on the fringe a little bit, you know? And I made good money back in the day. But I was stupid and I, you know, just blew it all. Now, in my defense, I did try to really get into the whole rave scene and throwing parties and that kind of stuff. And that's where a lot of my money went, because I didn't make it back. So, yeah. The music industry taught me a lot in an early age. But when I got, you know, when I got with my ex-wife and we started a family, it was just, I was working to pay bills and put food on the table. Because that was what I was really taught to do, That was the standard. As you go and get that job and you work your way up that corporate ladder, you try to be that good little worker bee and you just make the most money you can so that you can get the best house that you can afford and that kind of thing. What they call the American dream. And it's complete bullshit. Period. You are working so that somebody else can live the American dream. Period. Because what they are doing is they are putting their money to work for them. They are paying you to do a job that makes them money. All business. That's what capitalism is. Now, the smart people know how to create the businesses and hire the employees to do the work for them. But the people that are just the good little worker bees, which is just about everybody else, because that's the way we were trained. If you weren't taught any different, you don't know any different. And you can't blame yourself for that. But what I'm here trying to tell you is that there is another way. And just like what I was talking about earlier with Hive, how you can come in and just make posts. Go and put some really good comments out there. Go and find good content. Even if you're not an author or even if you're not a creator, that's fine. There's a ton of people creating great content on Hive. You can come out there and you can come and write comments. Talk about your feelings about the post. Interact with the post. And all that. And you can make just as much money as the authors make in a lot of cases. Because you get a portion of those post rewards. Just for doing stuff like that and spending the same amount of time that you would spend on Facebook, Twitter, or Instascam, you would basically be actually earning money. So you can turn your social media time into a side gig. And that money that you're earning comes to you in two different ways. It comes to you in the form of Hive Power, which is staked power in the system, which automatically starts earning you money. 3.3% if you don't do anything. But if you actually come and you're active and you curate and you use that power to earn more money and to just keep rolling it into the Hive Power, you can I've earned as much as 10, 12% on my curation. You also earn Hive back dollars, which if you put in your savings wallet, will earn 10% interest. There's not a bank account out there that pays that much. That's why the banking industry hates crypto, because we're better than them. And they know that we're going to eventually swallow everything, because what's the point in a bank when you can be your own bank? And when you can use the same tactics that they use, but actually benefit yourself. So what I do, instead of working for money, because for years, I've caught up in that. I've got personal debt. I've got child support. I've got all that kind of good stuff. I pay utilities, for my kids at their house, like internet and cell phone bills and stuff like that, and Netflix. So that's all on top of child support. Then I also pay for internet connection over at my sister's house. We do that because I live the van life. I live this rock star nomadic life that I'm living. It was the best choice of my life, honestly. Almost 2 years now. Apple was killing me. Apple was sucking my soul away from me. I worked for Apple for 8 years. And, I learned a lot. Yes, I got a great education through them. But I also learned a lot about corporations and the business end of things that I didn't want to learn. Or that I actually needed to learn, but it scared the crap out of me. And I wanted out. I got tired of working for somebody else and, just barely being able to scrape by. But I was holding on to that. Oh, you're working for Apple. You better hold on to that job. That job's great. That job is, recession proof. Blah, 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 blah. You're working for such an amazing company. But I was miserable and I wasn't making great money. Because they didn't value my skills. The way that, I had customers wanting to pay me extra, wanting to tip me, but we couldn't accept it. So I know I I know now that I'm independent, I could go out and I could teach Apple products and make way more than what I was making actually working for Apple. But that part of the time of my life is done. And because I found blockchain and I found a better way around things than traditional corporate systems. So yeah, I still have my main little dollar gig that pays my bills because I still have personal debt. You know, I lost everything in 2017 to Hurricane Irma, and I got no help from FEMA or Homeland or from SBA or any of the people because I got screwed over. Long story, won't get into that right now, but I had to build it all back on my own personal credit. So yeah, I have personal credit that I'm working on paying down. And like I said, I still have child support and stuff like that. But being, in my lifestyle, I've really cut down a lot of my other expenses. It's really just, food, gas, internet, and weed. That's basically what I pay for. Other than that, I spend my money on things that are actually going to create me more money. So I buy assets like Bitcoin, that I can then turn into other tokens like Binance Coin, or I can pair against the dollar and put into liquidity pools using DeFi and just let it sit there and just earn me more money. I can come and then that allows me to be able to take the cash flow from those assets and keep compounding it and building more assets. So if I'm making all the dollars I need, because I started a little food delivery business. I work for some of the, I do some food delivery through Grubhub, DoorDash. I was doing Postmates until they turned into Uber Eats, but I'm primarily Grubhub and DoorDash. So that's how I basically pay my US dollar bills and my child support and that kind of thing. And that's what I try to spend, is because they keep printing dollars. So I'll pay back my dollar-based income based on that. But what I'm also using is after I pay my bills and my life expenses, I take everything else, in which I do work extra just to do this sometimes. I will take at minimum $5 a day and I buy Bitcoin with it. At minimum $5 a day, I buy Bitcoin. So whatever I don't need for gas, food, and bills goes into crypto. I buy Bitcoin on the Cash App, and then I send the Bitcoin to wherever. I usually send it over to, whatever, if it's in a wallet, or I may actually exchange it like into, say, Binance Smart Chain and put it into there and put it into DeFi and let it just churn and burn, making upwards of 120% interest. I have learned to put my money to work for me. Now, I'm not in the place that I want to be. I'm working every day to get to that place that I want to be, to where I can be completely living off of the cash flow from the assets that I have and continue to build them at the same time. I would love to be able to have enough money to continue to build the assets and to pay all the bills off that I need, and be able to travel and do what I want to do, or just come out and sit out here at the river. The beautiful part about doing some of these podcasts is I don't need internet to record it. So I can literally come out here in the middle of nowhere where there's nobody around, watching this beautiful river flow in front of me, and let inspiration flow with it. So that's what you guys are getting today. You're flowing along with the river. So just get in the boat and ride. Come on, baby. Let's go. All right. So what are you doing with your money that you're working for? Are you scraping by and paying the bills, buying those things that you need or really don't need in most cases? Most people overpay for the food that they eat. You could, if you have a kitchen, like in my case, I live the van life, and honestly, it's so much easier to just go to the grocery store and get one of the ready-made salads or sandwiches. I live on the West Coast, so we have Safeway and Albertsons. And they have an awesome section of like just ready-made little subs that are really good price, little ready-made salads that are like $5 that will fill you up. And I love the fruit bowls. So they have a bunch of cut and pre-made and washed fruit already ready to go. So I just go and buy that and I'm good. But, I don't really do the whole boondocking thing. I stay in the cities because I do work. I do my food delivery service, and my kids, I need to be around for them. But there's going to be a day that I can disappear and go off and boondock for 2 weeks at a time. And, at that point, I'm sure I'll cook. But it all depends on what you need. So in my case, it's actually better for me to just do that than it is to actually cook and use the fuel and all that kind of stuff it takes to cook and to make the mess and waste water and all that kind of stuff. I just don't want to do that. But if you have a home with a kitchen and that kind of thing, or if you're in an Airbnb with a kitchen, because hey, there's different ways to be a nomad. You don't just have to live the RV or the van life to be a nomad. You can be a hostel hopper, which is what I call it. You can go and hop from Airbnb to Airbnb kind of thing, and a lot of those have kitchens. So go to the grocery store, get you some food that you can cook yourself. So that way you're saving a little bit of money. I mean, I don't know if you're saving a little bit of money in these days and in this day and time or not with inflation, the way the cost of food's been rising, but you get my point. Make coffee at home instead of going to Starbucks or, Dutch Bros or wherever it is that you're going to get your coffee. I like the coffee from the dairy, from my Dairy Mart. I get my daily coffee from there. But again, cost of energy and time and all that, it's actually easier for me to go and spend $1.50 on a cup of coffee than it is for me to hook up my kettles and all that kind of stuff and turn on the van and waste that gas for me to use to run the electricity because it's kind of powerful and it's a little too much for my solar. So I just go to the store, get a cup of coffee. No big deal. But if you smoke cigarettes, really think about cutting them back or quitting. That was what got it really started for me, was the fact that I quit smoking cigarettes and I had almost $10 a day. Because, packs of cigarettes here are $8-10 out in the West Coast. A pack. So if you're smoking a pack a day, that's $8 to $10 a day that one, you can put into Bitcoin and can make way more money on. And two, you're going to be healthier. Because man, the last 3 years since I haven't been smoking cigarettes, one, I am way healthier. I have my wind back. I love working out again. Makes me feel good. I don't even really work out as much. I do, but I like going hiking and stuff like that, spending time outdoors. Because I can breathe. I can taste food again. Food tastes good again. It's a beautiful thing. And you'll live longer. Just saying. I smoked for 20-something years. It was bad. But now, I'm building up asset class with the money. And that was where it started, really, was my main, investments was okay, now I can, start putting more money into Bitcoin. So I started putting my daily money in. And so instead of buying packs of cigarettes, I started buying Bitcoin. And I just watched it start to grow. Just a little bit here and there. But like I said, I put $5 a day into Bitcoin. And I put it into interest-bearing accounts, or like I said, I've been putting it into DeFi and stuff. Once you get in and learn the crypto game, you can learn all these different ways to do it. You can take that Bitcoin and exchange it for Hive, stake it into Hive, and have a bigger vote on the platform. You can, earn the interest, or you can stick some into Hive-backed dollars and then earn 10% interest on that. You don't have to keep it all into Bitcoin. So you can come and listen to some of my other channels, like some of my crypto stuff. I'm trying to get into more tutorials on how to teach you how to do some of this. So it doesn't have to be just cryptocurrencies, but at the time being, cryptocurrencies are the best assets that you can use to actually earn a good cash flow with very little money. And it gets your journey started with as little as $5 to $10. You really don't have to get started with any, with a whole lot of money. Where if you're jumping into the stock market to really see any kind of returns on a dividend stock, you're going to have to put in at least $50,000 to see anything halfway decent. Me, I can stick $5,000 in a DeFi contract making 120% interest, and I'm seeing, $15, $20 a day. I mean, if you were in a straight up survival situation, you could live on that easily. If you learned how to, spend your money wisely, but you could at least feed yourself on a daily for that. So, I mean, and that's just one little investment that I have that I've worked up. My Hive stuff, I run a Hive Engine node, so I'm helping support the second layer network. My next step is going to be running a Hive validator node. I'm going to get there, guys, but that, got a little bit of time on that one. Got some other stuff I'm trying to finish up, like with Hive List. So that's another thing too, is you can start a side gig. I mean, heck, just learning how to write a blog on Hive is a side gig because you do get paid, even if it's just a little bit, even if it's not much at all. A couple of bucks, or not even, even if it's just $1. That little bit of time you can then turn into more and more. You can just let it compound into your stack and just let it turn into more and more. So I don't get into this whole oh, well, my post isn't making this amount of money or whatever, or I think my post is worth more than what it's getting paid. You can't think about it like that. And that's where a lot of people get into Hive and then they stop, is because they don't think they're getting paid enough. Well, you got to work your way up to it, baby. You got to build your following just like anything else. But like I said, hey, you're going to get rewarded. It may be micro amounts of money, but it's a start. It's more than what you're getting paid on Facebook, Twitter, and, other platforms. YouTube, you can actually, eventually, once you get your following built up, you can earn some money, but same thing with Hive. I'm at a point now where I'm actually earning way more with, with just the follower count that I have on Hive, which is not much. I still couldn't get monetized on YouTube. But I make money on my Hive post, and I take that money and I compound it into other investments, whether it be just into my stake or my Hive back dollars, or if I turn that into, money that I use for businesses. Like I built Hive List with rewards is basically all I've built. All these businesses that I've built up online, I've built it up with rewards. I haven't had to I have put thousands of dollars of my own money, but a lot of the recent upgrades has all been just through rewards, which has been nice. But I wouldn't have had the money to build these businesses if I hadn't have started somewhere. So I had the money, and I've just taken my profits from my investments just growing and rolled it into businesses that are making me little bits of money here and there. Once you get in and you start studying and you learn how money actually works, it will change your life. To the point to where, you'll get on people's nerves talking about it, but, and you'll never, and I never thought that, the financial world would be something that I would be interested in and absolutely would be obsessed with. But I've learned how it works now. So now when you learn how to put your money to work for you, you don't really want to buy anything else. Like, honestly, I look around at stuff. It's like, my kids will want to buy this and that, little collectibles or knickknacks. I collect assets that earn me more money. So eventually I'm going to be at the point to where my assets are paying for my living. And that's what I want. That's that, FIRE strategy, that financial independent retire early thing. I want that. I'm gunning for that. But you don't have to start with crazy amounts of money. It just takes a little bit every day. Not even every day, just a little bit every week. But like I said, I make money daily with my businesses. So I take that money and I just, even if it's just $5 or $10 a day, minimum $5 a day I buy in Bitcoin, because I want to stack assets that are eventually going to get me out of having to actively work for my money as much. Which takes time and energy and all that kind of stuff from things that I want to be doing. I would much rather be talking to you guys while I'm staring at a river. Because this is so much more fun than sitting in an office. Even if it's a home office. This is so much more fun. You can get out and go and enjoy life. And turn your adventures into money. Hive can help you do that. You can start a travel blog. Make money through that. Get sponsorships. Don't just post on Hive. You'll also build followings on other, platforms. Like I'm trying to build a following on YouTube and Twitter and stuff like that. It takes time though. But I have found it actually easier to build a following on Hive because it is a smaller community now. But I actually get more impact. I get more, interaction through Hive than I do through any of the other platforms. Because the other platforms are just so flooded with garbage. And it's like, what is my time here worth? Why am I even looking at these other platforms? What am I getting out of it? And I'm not getting paid to spend time on these other platforms. If I'm marketing my businesses, then, I'm having to spend money to market for one. But then hopefully that'll bring me in some more people, that kind of thing. But, just out there posting and stuff, you don't get that far anymore. Unless you are, some celebrity and you've already got millions of followers, then yeah, it's easy to build a following. But I like creating educational content, stuff that people can actually learn stuff from. So that's why I like making these podcasts and the videos that I make. And I'm going to get into more tutorial stuff down the line. But, I like just talking about subjects like this, so I like taking the lessons that I'm learning and that are benefiting me and changing my life and just kind of letting you know what's up with that, and just maybe you can take some of the things that I talk about and tie them into your life and make your life a little bit easier down the line, First up, come join Hive. Come on. I'm not trying to sound cultish or trying to shill, but man, it's my home on the internet at this point. It's what I do every day. I spend more time on Hive than I do any other place. Whether it's one of the, my community, whether it's Hive lists going through and, trying to support people that are, using the platform properly, trying to put out things for sale and stuff. And, I'll promote, trying to help promote those posts. Or it's on the Weed Cash Network where I'm there, talking cannabis and my love for cannabis and that kind of thing with a great group of people. Or you can go to Leo Finance and go and talk about trading and investment and go and learn how this stuff works. Because there's a ton of people putting posts up on Leo Finance about, how they're making money through this kind of stuff. Same thing with HiveHustlers.io, another one of my communities, where we're talking about entrepreneurship, just as a whole, online businesses and that kind of thing. We're, trying to grow, a business resource list, and we have DeFi in a way, to where you can earn tokens and earn a part of our rewards and that kind of thing. So you should come and check it out. Hive List. That's my Mona Lisa project right now, basically. Just getting finished up with that. We're just getting launched with an NFT marketplace, and we've got a full-scale e-commerce store where we have multiple vendors. If you've got designs, we've got print-on-demand options now. So if even if you don't want to be an actual store vendor, you can just pay for design, and we'll put it up there and we'll all make money. Trying to create a new ecosystem, trying to create a whole new community online on the Web3 where you own your data, you own your content and you're able to get rewarded for it. And you don't get censored. That's the big thing, is you still have freedom. And you have a say-so where you don't on these other platforms. So that's why I do what I do and why I love the crypto world and why I think it's going to change the face of the financial industry. And I'm just trying to educate people the best way I know possible. So as you are still having to work your jobs, because yes, we all still have our bills to pay, we all still have mouths to feed and all that kind of stuff, but think about ways that you can cut and save and just start buying a little bit. Start putting it to work. Come follow me. Come give me a follow on Hive or on YouTube or, anything like that, because I put out other videos talking about different ways to make money online. Not necessarily, mainly more in the crypto world. So we're going to be focusing mainly on crypto, DeFi, staking, and things like that, because you want to put your money to work for you. So you can take the Hive that you're earning, take your token rewards that you earn on the Hive and the second layer community tokens, and then you can reinvest them and put them to work for you in ways that's going to make you more money than you in the long run, if you keep with it and stay with it. And you got to look at it as a way to the money that you're making with your secondary income, until you get to the point to where it can pay your bills fully and you can live your life on your income, don't spend it. Keep compounding it until it can get you to that point. Just keep rolling it into more investments. That's the best way to use it. Occasionally, yeah, spend it, go have some fun. Spend some, but replenish that. But you want to be compounding as much as possible until you can get to the point to where you can just completely live your life off of your investments and your assets. It's like the one thing that my granddad did tell me, because my grandparents, they didn't really, they had money and they had investments, but they didn't unfortunately teach me a lot about it. More that silent generation thing. But the one thing my granddad, who was a stock investor, told me was if you're going to spend it, spend the dividends, never the principal. So always keep the assets that you're putting in, but you can spend the cash flow. So spend what that money is earning. But I like to compound as much of it as I can, because then I have more that's going to earn me more. That's my game. So I ask you, are you working for money, or are you working for assets that are going to be turning around and making you more money? So, something to think about. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Enjoy life, because it's pretty short. Don't give in to the bullcrap. And just live your life as a free and sovereign human being, because nobody has any authority to tell you how to live your life. I don't care what they think. I don't care what somebody tells you that you have to do. Nobody has authority over your life. You are a free and sovereign human being, so you need to be free and sovereign with your money as well. Get it out of their system, get it out of the corrupt systems, and put it to work for you. That's it. You guys have a great rest of your day. Be cool, be real, always abide. Peace.